it until I see it. All of your promises are yeah, and amen.
And we are live. What's up, people? How you doing? My name is Coach Michael Lowman, and you are here for official episode number 2 of And Now I See. Right from the very beginning, I just want to say thank you to a couple of very special sponsors. They don't want to be named at this point, but I'm truly grateful for your support, truly grateful for all of the doors that you've opened up, and truly grateful for you putting your money where your mouth is. Thank you for believing in me. And I want to thank another very special sponsor, the man behind the camera, Mr. Jay Rich, the man that keeps me aesthetically pleasing. So Jay Rich, I just want to thank you for everything that you're doing, man. I'm really looking forward to what we have going on. So what's up, everybody? Listen, today is a very, very special episode. You know I'm big when it comes to talking about the 6 higher mental faculties, right? And I named this podcast And Now I See because it wasn't until after I didn't have my physical eyesight that I truly began to see what my mentors were telling me all the time. And as you guys know, Bob Proctor was a very special mentor to me. And as I'm mentioning Bob, I have to mention Arash Vasugi. Arash, when I was under your tutelage at the Proctor Gallagher Institute, I couldn't stand you, Arash. I can't lie. I don't know, you challenged me so much. You irked me so much. But it wasn't until after I came from under your tutelage that I truly began to be mentored by you. So Arash Fasugi, this one's for you. I just want to thank you. So listen, people, you see I'm here and I'm in Philadelphia. It's a very, very beautiful day. I'm on top of the world. I have the city behind me. I mean, I was just riding down the street. We see my man Gilly. Big shout out to Gilly and Wallow. My man Gilly was riding down the street in a slingshot, killing him. Jay Rich, he got a nice little video of that. And it just really made me grateful. It made me grateful to be in a place where I am. So that's why today I'm going to be talking to you about perception. Now, perception is one of the 6 higher mental faculties. For all those who don't remember, we have the imagination, intuition, memory, will, perception, and reason. The reason that perception is so powerful is because perception is reality. Excuse me. Perception is reality. Oh, Jay must have moved my water. It's all good. Wayne Dwyer said this: when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Why is that so powerful? The reason that's so powerful is you are in control of the things that you see. The perception, if you look at the etymology of the word, which is the beginning of the word, you have per, which is person or personal, and ception, which comes from the word conception. So your perception is what you decide to personally bring forth. Yeah, that's good, right? You heard it here first. Your perception is what you decide to personally bring forth. It's your decision. But there is a caveat there. It's not totally your decision, though it is your decision. Now, that may seem like I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth, but the issue is the perception is controlled by the paradigm. If you follow us at PGI or you follow Bob Proctor, you follow any of the people that's in this space, especially working with Bob, you've heard the word paradigm maybe a million times, but it's not something that's readily understood. So the easiest way that I can explain it is that your paradigm is a multitude of thoughts and ideas that you have stored in the subconscious section of your mind. Now, in order to truly understand that, you have to realize that there are two sections to the mind. There's the intellect, where you have the 6 higher mental faculties, and that is a beautiful, beautiful faculty. You have the option of decision. You can accept thoughts. You can cast down thoughts. Matter of fact, the word of God says, casting down every imagination that would exalt itself against the knowledge of God. What does that mean? What does God know? God knows that you're blessed. God knows that you're made in his image and in his likeness. God knows that he has breathed the breath of life into you. And God knows that there is nothing that you can imagine that will not be held back from you. This is what God knows. What would exalt itself against the knowledge of God? I'm not good enough. I'm too tall. I'm too short. I'm too dark. I'm too light. I'm a man. I'm a woman. I'm black. I'm white. I'm yellow. I'm whatever. Circumstances will exalt themselves against the knowledge of God. And with the mind, what do you have the ability to do? Cast them down. Also, with the mind, you have the ability to originate thought. Think about this. Think about this. You have the ability to originate a thought. And remember, I know this just a little bit better than you right now, not because I'm so knowledgeable, but because I'm no longer using my physical eyes, and they're still brown, they're still beautiful, but they're just taking a break right now. I'm in my enhancement mode. It's kind of like a baby being in a womb. I'm being enhanced right now, and I'm being trained. But the blessing is I can go before you and I can show you what it was that my mentors were attempting to teach me. So you don't see with your eyes, you see through your eyes, right? But you see with cells of recognition in your mind. So if I say the word, think of your door, you don't think of DOOR, you think of your front door. Or if I say the word feather, the spelling doesn't come across the screen of your mind, the image comes across the screen of your mind. So one of the best things to know about the mind is that we think in pictures. Your perception is controlled by a multitude of ideas that you have in the subconscious section of the mind. Now, the subconscious mind is actually 99 times more powerful than the conscious mind. Think about it. It's with the subconscious mind that you breathe, right? That your circulatory system works, that your nervous system works. All of these functions function on the subconscious mind. And also, once you have a habit, Once you get something deep into the subconscious mind where it becomes a habit, habits are good. I remember I had a mentor that told me that habits were God's way of making good automatic in your life. Now, I know for a fact when I said that, some of you said, that's not true. People being addicted to drugs is not good. People having a habit of alcohol is not good. But we have to realize that a habit is neither good or bad. It's the habit that you create. Yes, you have the ability to create any habit that you desire. You want to start getting up earlier? You can create that habit. You want to start eating better? You can create that habit. You want to start earning more money? Who wants to turn their yearly income into a monthly income? I've done that. And once it becomes a habit, your body knows how to do it better than you do. So when we talk about perception, we have to realize that the perception is controlled by our paradigm. Now, your paradigm controls the way you look at things. It controls your creativity. Your paradigm controls how much money you earn. From 0 to 7 in a child's life is the time when the paradigm is being built. Actually, did you guys know that they build gels based off of third grade test scores? Yes. And it was Frederick Douglass that said, show me the child at 7 and I'll show you the man. That's why they said it's easier to fix a child than to fix a broken man. And though I agree that it is a hard task, I have taken on the undertaking of helping those individuals who have paradigms that were not developed correctly. Myself, I had a very negative paradigm for most of my life. I just turned 45 last week, and it wasn't until I was about 34 that I really started getting myself together and started to change my paradigm. And I remember being angry at the Lord. Yes, foolish, right? I remember being angry with God saying, Lord, you allowed me to go 34 years before you told me that I had a paradigm, before I knew that I had this program, before I knew the negativity in my life, the pain in my life, the hurt in my life. Though I made some significant strides and I made some money and I made some friends and connections, I would lose it. Why? Because my program was set on failure. So I would always find a reason or a way to lose it. And it wasn't until I was 34 that I heard Bob Proctor talk about paradigms. And I realized I needed to get to work. The good news is you can shift the paradigm. Excuse me. And what's interesting is we're on the 15th version of the iPhone, but most people are still on their first version of themselves. Myself, I'm on maybe the, 10th version of myself. And now I see. And now I see when Bob said to erase what you can hear, see, smell, taste, and touch. Erase those things. But now I use my higher mental faculties to hear, my higher mental faculties to see. my higher mental faculties, the smell, taste, and touch. And these things are getting enhanced. But it's my perception, my paradigm is changing. How do you change a paradigm? Through the repetition of an idea. Listen, we're all ideas. We're all ideas. You are a divine idea in the mind of God. You are a divine idea in the mind of God. And I want you to understand that you have the ability to change the things that are going on in your life right now. You're not earning enough money. You don't feel like you have the relationship that you want. You're not living in the home that you desire. First off, you have to get some cells of recognition for it. Travel. Go to an area that you want to live in. Walk the neighborhood. Walk up on the step. Take a picture in front of the house. Take a picture in front of the car. Because you need cells of recognition. Because it's the vibration that you're in that determines what you attract into your life. And you will attract nothing into your life that you are not in vibrational harmony with. So I know it's a very, very, very hard pill to swallow, but the life you are living right now, you're in vibrational harmony with. That is the life that you're experiencing in your paradigm. It was Price Pritchett that talked about this. Let me ask you this question. How many of you right now believe if you just tried a little bit harder, you could do a lot more? If you just tried a little bit harder? Well, the answer to that is yes. And the answer to that, once again, is no. Price Pritchett talked about this in his book, U Squared. I really recommend you go and get this book. Bob talked about this book a lot. Price Pritchett, U Squared. It's just U, Y-O-U with the number 2 as squared. He talked about an example of a fly. He said he was sitting in a cafe and he could hear this fly burning out the last of his life energies trying to get outside, but he was trying to break through a window pane. And how many of you know, no matter how hard that fly tried, that it would have been impossible for him to break through that window pane? But just 10 seconds of flight time, there was a door wide open. That fly needed to change its perspective. Do you desire to earn more money? And do you think that overtime is the key? I'm sorry, it's not. Do you desire to earn more money, but you think maybe going out and getting 2 and 3 more jobs is the key? And one time I had 2 full-time jobs and I drove Uber in between. Literally. I worked 1 overnight job 4 nights a week. I worked a 9 to 5, 5 days a week. And I would drive Uber in between. I was always tired. How many of you know that wasn't the way? It wasn't until I began to change my paradigm and I began to understand that, hold on, I could turn my yearly income into a monthly income. That's possible. How did I do that? I linked up with people who were doing it. I linked up with people who were doing it. Listen, I'm barely scratching the surface on perception. Remember, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Another way to do it, write your problem out, sit it in the middle of the table, and begin to ask yourself, how would Albert Einstein look at this problem? How would my dad look at this problem? How would whoever's in your life that you value, that you believe has some wits about themselves, begin to ask yourself, how would they look at this? Are they looking at it as a problem or an opportunity? I sit here before you 6 months into losing my eyesight. How many of you know that I've had to switch perceptions? I've had to switch the perception that I was no good. I had to switch the perception of I can no longer achieve any of my goals. I had to switch the perception of I'm broken and who would want me? And if you did want me, I thought it was something wrong with you for wanting me. How many of you know I had to switch my perception? I had to begin to look at my life as being more than what I lost and start to focus on what I gained. And when I changed the way I looked at things, the things that I looked at changed. So I'm going to wrap this up for today because I gave you a lot of information and I want to hear from you. Reach out to me on IG at Coach Michael Lowman. That's Lowman, no underscores, no asterisks, just Coach Michael Lowman, and shoot me a DM. I have a free gift for you. I want to send you a training that teaches you how to use your 6 higher mental faculties. Freely give, freely receive. Once again, guys, I want you to remember this. Without sight, you can make it. Without that relationship, you can make it. Without that person, you can make it. Without whatever it is you lost, you can make it. But without a vision, you perish. So always keep the vision in front of you. Jay Rich, thank you very much. I appreciate you. Jay Rich Films. To my other sponsors, I know you want me to hold out before I mention you, but you know, and I just want to thank you so much for everything that you've done, the doors that you've opened up, the connections that you made, and the faith that you have placed in me. All right, guys. Coach Michael Lowman out. I love you. God bless.
Everything that you said, I'ma believe it until I see it. All of your promises are yeah, 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 and amen.